All right, what we've got with this problem is an auction, and we have an item, and we want to be able to enter the ID of the item, a description for it, the number of days that it's going to be on the auction, up for auction, and the bid. So whatever you're going to bid on it for. And we're going to start off with start, input the ID, input the description, input the number of days for the auction, and input the bid. Then you're going to have, it wants you only to display this item in the bid if the bid exceeds a certain number. I've got 150. The book has something different. Actually, as I said in the last video, I would do this. It's not in here, so declarations. And we've got ID days, bid, and string description. Okay, so that's that's a pseudocode right there. So if the bid is over 150, output everything. Item number, description, number of days it's going to be auctioned, and the bid amount. You can have this. Then end if and stop. So this is just for one item. Let's go over to the pseudocode. We've got start, input ID, or gosh, I should have had the. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. I can move this down. What we'll have here is, our declarations area. We'd have something like this. And then, our declarations, 2, 3, 4, 5, ID, what else did we have? Days, bid, and description. Days, bid, and string description. Go ahead and make this look nice. So you would have your declarations, input the ID, input the description, input the days, the bid. If bid is over $150, then show the information for that item, and then stop. So that's how your flowchart would look. I'm going to go over here to the code. You don't need to have this, but I want to kind of hit on this real fast. You can see our variables here. Now we've got ID, and I want to make note of this line right here. This is very important, and this took a lot of searching around and sifting through very, very, very bad explanations and about 70% of incorrect placement and altogether incorrect information. So hopefully I can explain this to you, what's happening here. Notice how these three variables are declared as integer, and this one is declared as a string variable. Okay, so when you go to enter this ID here, and then you go and ask for, because this is integer, and then you go and ask for a description, okay, what's going to happen is that somehow the program is still thinking I'm expecting an integer variable. So when you switch it up on the program and you enter something like a string or a character probably, it's going to do one of a few things depending on what you have in here. Sometimes it won't, it'll just skip over and automatically ask enter number of auction days. Like you'll have enter description in your console, and it'll automatically, won't even give you a chance to enter anything. It'll just have this right here over here as well. So it's basically skipping this question. Other times, if you actually are successful enough to get it to work, your output will show nothing. No matter what you do, no matter how many different ways you switch this up. Some people say cn.getLine or cn.get, or use, you know, cn.ignore, just that, and then put cn.get, and all of that. That does not make sense. That is garbage. I've tried it all. It always ends the same, with either not allowing me to enter something or not outputting the information for that specific element. So let me explain what's happening here. After you do this, you're basically, and what I'm suspecting this is doing, because, you know, again, I'm kind of still in a learning process. What this is saying is ignore the limitations that the program is putting on you when it asks for, when it understands it wants an integer value. Ignore that. Say, no program, I'm going to ignore that limitation you're putting on me, and I'm going to put in a string value now, a string variable. And so it allows it to be like, oh, okay, user, you want a string, you want to put in a string now. Okay, that's fine with me. And so that's basically what's going on here. And this needs to come before you ask for the string variable, because it's going to say, hey, program, just be aware, I'm about to throw you a curveball. So that's what that line does. And the way you're going to get not just one word, you're going to be able to enter spaces, is using getLine. So getLine, not cn.getLine, just getLine, then cn, comma, and description, which would be your variable up here. That will allow you to type in a sentence with spaces and periods and commas and stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. Now when you go back to the integers here, they don't need that. For some reason, it's just string variables have an issue. I don't really know why. Maybe someday, as I progress in knowledge with C++ and other coding languages, it'll become clear. But anyway, we ask for those, and then if bid is greater than 150, we output all the information. And let me go ahead and show you how that works, just for proof that this method actually does work, and all of the other ones that I went through hours and hours of searching for did not have this kind of, show me at work. I want to see it work. But anyway, so let's have ID number 7, a description. Okay, so now it's allowing me to type something in. It's halted. It's not asking for the number of auction days. Say this space, and that's going to allow me to do this. This is something you probably want but can't afford. That applies to me. And then we're going to hit enter. And it's not freaking out. We still get to move along. Number of auction days, 10. The bid. So we're going to ask, we need it to be over 150 in order to see this work. So I'm going to say it's 175. And there we go. Magic. Item number 7. This is something you probably want but can't afford. Number of auction days, 10. Bid is $1.75. So there you go. There's a sentence. Spaces, didn't freak out. It output the string, the sentence that you entered. There's no blank space here. I'm very, very happy with this. That's about it for this problem. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.